What is going on, everyone? I'm Jay the Black. I am back here with another video. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Now, this is not going to be an in-depth video about Fantasia's life or things of that nature, but there are certain things as far as her dating-wise that is going to be brought up in this video. Now, this particular topic is being spoken about due to an interview that Fantasia did on The Breakfast Club, where she spoke about women submitting to their men, and that interview got some people upset. Now, the interview was done, I believe, 3 days ago. Okay. And it has caused a stir with a lot of the single, independent, I don't need a man women who can't keep a man. Now, for those of you who don't know who Fantasia is, I'm pretty sure a lot of my subscribers may not. She is a singer. She won American Idol. And she's been able to have a career ever since then, but her dating life has not always been that way. Now, she's had some very dysfunctional relationships. And one that comes to mind is the one that she had with a guy by the name of Antoine, the manager of, I believe, a cell phone store. And what made that situation interesting was that she ended up being sued by this guy's wife for alienation of affection, which turned out to not really be the case. And apparently the wife dropped the suit or didn't follow through with it. And I believe a couple of years later, the guy ended up going back to his particular wife. But through her dating history, Fantasia has had her issues when it comes to dating. She has. Now, this interview with The Breakfast Club, she made some comments, and I'm going to basically transcribe some of the comments from Hot New Hip Hop. Okay, now this is what she said. She says, most women are trying to be the leader. That's why you can't find a man. She said, you can't be the king in the house. Fall back and be the queen and let your man lead the way. She added that a woman being the leader in her household isn't how things are supposed to be. That's why we bump heads. I feel like it's a generational thing. You can go read deep on it, but it's generational. But it's a generational curse in how society has placed our men and how women have to stand up and be the mother and the father. And that's according to Fantasia. Now, I'm going to say this. There are women who have embraced feminism. They've embraced this whole idea about being independent, strong. They don't need a man. And it's usually coming from women that don't want to change. They don't think anything is wrong with them. Everything is wrong with the guy that they are dating. Now, again, I'm not going to say that there aren't men who aren't dysfunctional. There aren't men who aren't worthy of dating, because I think that women choose very poorly. The ones who are angry at Fantasia choose very poorly. And I'm not trying to say Fantasia is perfect. Fantasia has made a lot of dating mistakes, and she seemingly has found the right guy for her, marrying him. And her perspective is what I think people just don't want to hear. She has a perspective that I think people should listen to, because she's been through it. And unfortunately, there are women who really believe that nothing is wrong with them, that they always choose the right guys. It's always them. It's those guys. And let me just say this. There are situations, where you have men who will sell women dreams, who will lie to them, not be very truthful, whether they're still in relationships or married to other women, or whether they want to actually be in a relationship. There are guys who will get with women just so they can sleep with them, and then when they get tired of sleeping with them, they just move on. There are guys who do things like that. Once again, you have to be able to read guys, because there are plenty of men who women have curved and chose not to date. Obviously, you saw something in those guys that you didn't like, that were red flags. Well, you have to read the red flags on these guys. Just like when Fantasia started dating the married man, like a telltale sign that that guy, you know, still has something going on. The fact that you probably never been to his house, or he still has that wedding ring on. Well, maybe not. But I just want people to understand, like with Fantasia, she's coming from a perspective of a woman who is now settled. Now, looking at her social media, because I looked at her social media right before I recorded, she is deeply into this guy. Okay? Like, you can tell that guy is a hit of self-esteem that she probably feels like she needs. Okay? And there are people bringing up that she, you know, she has a certain type, which I think she does, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, who am I to judge? But I just feel like still she has a perspective that can help a lot of women, you know, and they don't want to hear it. Now, this is more from this hot new hip hop article. So she goes on to say that women have become so independent, all right, that when a man does come their way looking for a romantic relationship, the woman comes across as too masculine. You have to find how to submit. You can still be a queen, she said. The queen plays a part. The king needs his queen. There's certain things that he can't see, we can see. Look, I'm not with the whole king and queen thing, you know, to each his own. But I think that there are women out there that are so set on being in full control of their relationships, man. They don't want to change. And I think that Fantasia is telling these women, listen, there's a reason you've been single for 5 years or 6 years, 7 years. There's a reason why every guy you get with ends up leaving you or cheating on you, being disrespectful to you. And I think that us as men, we've been more open to self-reflection, I think, more than women are. That's why you have women that are upset with her. Excuse me, not women, females. You have females that are disgruntled about what she's saying because they want to blame everybody else for why they're single. But you have to look yourself in the mirror, because the only person that can fix you is you. Okay? You can't go about blaming everybody for why your relationships just don't work out. That's not the right way to go about things. We all have to look towards changing ourselves and who we are. You know, we can't always look to place blame on everybody else. That doesn't make any sense. We can only look at how we're trying to find happiness and find that happiness. Obviously, Fantasia's found some happiness and she wants to tell everybody about it. And again, it's how you interpret it. Okay. Honestly, though, looking at Fantasia's relationship now, I'm not 100% sure, but the guy he seems very religious. I believe he's a minister. If I'm wrong, y'all can let me know. I didn't go too in depth on this guy. This is about her, but you know, just by the post they put up, they push being religious and things of that nature. But I still believe she's making most of the money in the relationship, right? Now, she could pull rank on this guy and say, listen, I'm famous, I make more money than you, but she's choosing not to. She's choosing to be a submissive wife. You know, she's choosing to understand her place in a relationship because at the age of 35, she's realized that all that independent woman, I can do this or that doesn't work. Men are not trying to deal with that. Men are not going to put up with that. You know, men understand the power that they have. They understand the power that they have, and they're not looking to be pushed around by a female they're in a relationship with. Okay? Now, I'm sure this guy makes his own money, whatnot, but I just think that even with her being famous and her having her own, she could still pull rank, but she chooses not to. She's accepted her position in that relationship, and there are other females who refuse to do that. They refuse to accept any position that ain't the head boss of the relationship, and that's not how it works. It's not going to work like that, people. I'm not saying that you have to you have to answer his every whim. What I'm saying is have some common sense and understand that it takes two to make a relationship work, but even though it takes two, there needs to be a clear leader, somebody who understands the vision of the relationship, somebody that you can go to for answers, somebody who can make plans, who can be the decision maker, because you need that in relationships. You need that. Now I will also say this too. I think one of the reasons why she is being submissive to this guy is because he's also embraced the fact that she was a single mother. She had 2 kids prior to him, and I think that she understands now that she has baggage that other guys aren't going to deal with. But there's a guy who's willing to deal with her. Whether, even though she has a certain type, according to some people I've seen, people may hold that against her. But I just want to say this. No matter how a person's past was, they can still offer some real advice, some real life advice that can help benefit a relationship, that can help benefit someone's life. People who've gone through some of the worst things can be some of the people you can go to for the best advice. Some people that can be honest with you and can be reflective of the mistakes that they've made and how they're looking to change their life. If you're willing to embrace change, you're willing to show that you have matured and that things are different now. Maybe Fantasia will sing a different tune someday. I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is who she is. I think that they're just people who don't like that she's just, her perspective is who she is. And I won't hold what she's done in her past against her, because that's her past. That's her business. And hopefully she has learned from it, because, going through life, making the same mistakes over and over, have you, just like all these other bitter females, angry at her because she has decided to be she decided to be a woman and to take a secondary role in a relationship that she wants to be